Hey guys, in this video I want to wrap up a few loose ends having to do with this latest debate going on between Happy Healthy Vegan and Unnatural Vegan. Later in the video I want to talk about a couple of things that I didn't get to in my other videos, my other 4 videos, having to do with the protein issue. But first, in reading a lot of the comments on both sides, there's a lot of comments flying back and forth about who was rude. You got people saying that Ryan was rude, but Swayze was perfectly polite, and then you have the opposite of that on the opposite side. Looks like everybody's dogmatic. So I've gathered some clips together from both of them. So I'm halfway through watching Ryan's video looking for something rude, and I'm noticing that I'm having trouble doing it, and I'm thinking maybe it's because I'm biased for him, and so I have to remind myself to watch unbiasedly and just listen for the rudeness. And what I'm remembering is that people can really only say about Ryan that he's arrogant or something like that. Well, what people have to realize is that if you're a vegan and you are talking, you're arrogant. That's just the way people read it. Well, let's watch these two people believing that they think they're making a valid point and not trying to be rude. And let's see if we can still pick up some unnecessary rudeness. Okay, I've watched the whole video, and this is the best I could find for rudeness.
This. So if you're going to make a video calling out other YouTubers for not getting enough protein, and you yourself aren't even really getting close to that amount on your what you ate in a day videos, you got to be really careful. Quickly, nonsense. Eat a bunch of whole food plants, eat enough calories, eat till you're plenty full, and then you won't have to worry about where do you get your protein. It's just going to happen naturally.
That's the only other clip I could find. He wasn't really talking to Swayze. He was referring to the whole phenomenon of this protein obsession. Now, if you find any of those clips rude, tell me how in the comments below, and how could Ryan have handled it differently, aside from just keeping his mouth shut. Now on to Unnatural Vegan. I got some clips all ready to go, and an explanation of my own as to what's wrong with them.
Relying on anecdotes, as Ryan does here, is irrational. Irrational. Freely is active and has good blood test results, and so we don't have to worry about protein. Anecdotes are stories.
Is she implying that Freely is lying? If she knew me, if she knew I existed, would she imply that I have been lying for 21 years? Who's the rudest one? Well, Ryan is emotional and more passionate, but his words are not rude at all. Her words are rude, and it looks like she's actually going out of her way to be rude without using real negative words.
There's no footnote or reference in the article at all. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black.
Smarmy. That's a word that describes that attitude.
Whole plant foods, on the other hand, like chickpeas and lentils and whatnot, are all significantly lower. So it's reasonable to...
Swayze is so wrapped up in science, which is not reality, that she doesn't even consider reality in nature. And that is, human beings are not high-protein eating animals. We're not meat eaters. We are frugivores. And to us, beans are actually poisonous unless they're cooked. And then you kill the poison. So they're not natural for us. no high-protein foods are natural for us. So it turns out the only thing unnatural about Unnatural Vegan is the beans that she eats. Now I'm hoping that this is my last video on Unnatural Vegan, because I want to move on. I have some topics I really want to cover while I'm still here. Well, and I just saw a new message from Happy Healthy Vegan saying that he is not going to respond to Unnatural Vegan's new video about them. So hopefully this is the end. There's other things to do. So I want to just say a few last words. I was over on her video again, reading the comments, and it's really sad. It's just flooded with a whole bunch of people. They're calling our group dogmatic. The low-fat, low-protein people, they're calling us dogmatic. Well, they're all being dogmatic because we're not dogmatic. We know the whole science. See my last video, 14 minutes of science. Well, 10 minutes of science, 4 minutes of having fun with the topic. And I think these people will never look. Like, they will look at my video, they won't look to see the truth. They just, and their attitude is just really disheartening. Our species is so awful. On a funnier note, not all the comments are really bad. Well, she doesn't delete comments much. I have a comment there from 2 days ago that has gotten 12 thumbs up. That's good. And there was a comment there that asked the question that I asked a couple days ago. That is, if you don't get enough lysine, let's say, then what happens? What's the problems that you're going to have? And I thought of a funny response to that. I just put that up. I said, it causes a condition called blowback.
I have a fairly large following, and I think it is my responsibility to represent veganism in the best way possible.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you think the other 99% of this community should see my videos instead of hers, and even people outside the community, like the rest of the world, then click the Add To button, which is right next to the Share button, and put it in one of your playlists, or create a playlist. It's real easy. It's actually one of the easier things to do on YouTube. Click the Share button and share it on social media of your choice. And if you're not signed up with anything, you can always use Google+. You're already signed up, because Google YouTube made it that way.